Hey everybody, One of Wisdom. It is Saturday, January 19th, 2013 here. Um, One of the first characters to come out at the start of this wave was LightCore Shroomboom. Seems like Toys R Us had the initial run of him there. Wasn't many, they sold out fast. I have never at any store seen LightCore Shroomboom in person. Know quite a few people that picked him up that day at Toys R Us. Um, their promos have gotten to be so lame and so exaggerated. For example, you could have gone in that day, within 30 minutes of opening at your store and not gotten LightCore Shroomboom. They're probably going to do the same thing with Thumpback and Eyebrow. Maybe have like 2 to 6 of each and have some Grand Waz ahead or something. That said, I kind of got burned out on it, and I assumed it would have been restocked if it was. I've never seen it. Hadn't seen it, at GameStop, Amazon, GameStop, Target, Walmart, anywhere really. One place that I could find it was Amazon.com. It would come in and out of stock there for a while, then it kind of stayed steady. That's when I went ahead and picked it up. I just sort of gave up on finding it locally. That said, price is $11.99. I guess Toys R Us, it's going to be $12.99 for LightCore now. Again, my advice with Toys R Us, don't buy from them unless they're having a sale and you actually need what it'll take to meet those requirements. When they have a sale, they're the place to go, in my opinion. But outside of that, with their dollar increase and just in general the way they've over-promoted and over-hyped pretty much all things Skylanders and then failed to deliver time after time after time. It gets to a point, where I would rather spend $1 less at Target, Walmart, GameStop, or Amazon. So if you go the Amazon route, tack on another character or two or a giant and get your free Super Saver shipping. That's the route I go. So $11.99 plus tax, free shipping, and generally have it within 7 days. So here lately, when I've ordered from Amazon, I've found the character, the next day or the next time out I'm looking. That has not been the case. I have still, including this past, week when I made my rounds, I've yet to see LightCore Shroomboom anywhere. So Amazon.com was a ticket for me. Like I said, I'm sure eventually the other stores will catch up. But if you recall, Shroomboom is a brand new character, what we sometimes refer to as a new lander. This is a day one, just regular standard old Shroomboom, his original pose. Picked it up in the Golden Dragonfire Cannon Battle Pack. That's the GameStop exclusive. If I understand right, that one's kind of getting phased out as GameStop starting to carry just the standard Dragonfire Cannon. So if for whatever reason you want it for your collection and you prefer the gold over the silvery and blue colored cannon, might want to try and track one down. But like I said, pick this up. Release day was my last stop. I won't go into too many details on them just yet. But what we want to focus on right now is LightCore Shroomboom. The LightCores, obviously, they're going to have the LightCore logo there. They're going to kind of have a holographic effect on the packaging. Some of them now actually say I light up. I think it's a fact that so many LightCore, particularly Eruptor, Drobot, and in some cases Prism Break, sat on the shelves so long, it's almost like people either didn't know what they do or don't care. I'm honestly not too big on the LightCore for the simple fact I feel like they mishandled them, and I mean that in terms of gameplay, not just stock. To me, the LightCore should be a step above and beyond a regular character. When you place them on the portal of power, there's like a ring of light that emanates from where they enter the screen, tends to decimate whatever is in the radius of the circle of light. That said, that's the only time you have that. It's not a situation where when you kill 10 enemies or when your character's health drops low, they'll radiate the light and kind of help you out. Something as simple as that really would have helped set him apart, in my opinion. And I'm telling you all this because if you can't find him and you're contemplating playing something crazy on eBay or something to that effect, just be content with regular old Shroomboom. The LightCore really, unless you're like trying to complete the set of characters, or granted, if Shroomboom's your favorite, you might go ahead and wait out, pick him up. But in terms of gameplay, the Series 2 characters, in my opinion, bring the most to the table. Obviously the new characters are good. They don't have the WoW POW. But then the LightCore, they could have given them a WoW POW, or like I said, just done something where, every X number of XP points you collect, so it doesn't just stop at level 15. They radiate the light, decimate all the enemies. Similarly, if it was whenever their health dropped to certain intervals, as they got weaker, they kind of got that as a boost. But sadly, all it is, you place them on the portal, and that's one and done, So I could go on. I'm sure most of you that play the game know that. But that said, unless you're a hardcore collector, big fan of whatever LightCore character it is, or in the event that you don't want to spring for the battle pack and you want Shroomboom, I mean, this is a viable alternative. But that said, this guy is extremely hard to find. Like I said, I've never even seen it in person. Had to go through Amazon.com. It is the last of the Wave 3 stuff I've picked up. I still lack Thump Back and Eyebrow. I've had quite a few people asking, so hopefully, I'll land those two. If I had to recommend, if you were faced with LightCore Shroomboom, Thump Back, and Eyebrow, I would tell you to get the Giants. Similarly, even if you were faced with, you found a Lightning Rod single or Prism Break or something you've had trouble finding in LightCore Shroomboom, I'd go with the Series 2, again, unless you're just a huge fan of Shroomboom. That said, not compatible with SSA, does work in Giants, of course. On the back, LightCore Power, and Flash Bomb Effect. Flash Bomb Effect, again, sadly, only comes into play when you first put the character onto the Portal of Power. Like I said, had they have structured that differently, I wouldn't have such a bad opinion of the LightCore. But, it is what it is. His box art, to their credit, is kind of good. And then the other Life Element Skylanders they promote. Series 2 Stump Smash Shroomboom from the Battle Pack Zook, and Series 2 Stealth Elf there. Packaging, again, the box art's actually pretty good. This is our first look at it since he was in the Battle Pack. But the packaging overall is way better. You can see how easy he came out. How intact all that is. A lot of people keep the top in, some just keep the back panel. If you keep them sealed up, it's irrelevant. But note that on LightCore Shroomboom, that was not taped at all. That's kind of interesting. They're usually taped on both corners. Since this is a LightCore character, anytime you deal with LightCore and or Giants, you want to be very careful taking them out. I've actually read online several people are having trouble with Eyebrow. He lights up like 5 minutes and then they can never get him to do anything again. So that's most likely an internal flaw with the toy or something in shipping. But, if you just came in here and manhandled everything, there's a chance it could be user inflicted. So, they did a nice job making this real easy. You can just see it hinges right there. So what I like to do, particularly on the light up figures, is just come in by the base. You saw how easy he popped out, and there he is. We'll go into his story here in a second. We'll come in now. There's really not a good way to get the cards out. If you bend this, it kind of pushes on the back and it'll bend the card. I just kind of come in from the back side and then push out on the card. The LightCore cards are kind of cool. It looks like we kind of got that bent a little bit, but they're kind of got, the hologram effect, so if that means anything to you. Behind the card, of course, you get, if you see that and you flip the video, since it was upside down for some reason, by the time the video's up, I will have already registered, and someone stole my Zap last year, so I kind of learned my lesson. But behind the trading card, you've got the sticker, the name. Over here, you've got the code for Spiral's Universe. I'm sorry, Skylanders Universe. They changed the name. And then over here, just a QR code. These stats mean absolutely nothing to us as far as gameplay goes. That said, they're on the card, so I include them. It's really hard for me to get this one visible for you, but power or strength, 60 of 150. Defense or armor, 80 of 150. speed or agility, 50 of 150, and luck, very high at 110 of 150. That puts him at what, 140, 190, 300, I guess, out of 600. That's pretty dadgum solid. Generally, you don't see him that high, but, you know, can't complain there. So, nonetheless, you know, there's this card. Like I said, it is a hologram effect. Really hard to get him out without damaging him just a little bit. The story on Shroomboom, I'm just kind of winging this from memory. He had the misfortune of being born into Chaos's pizza topping garden. He knew that one day, or midnight craving coming up, it would seal his fate forever. He'd be eaten by Chaos. So what he did is he took a stick and then a strand of spiderweb, actually built a slingshot, launched all of his friends out. Guess you could say he's a real fun guy. And then basically launched himself out. Then he continued to lead all the mushrooms to the edge where they leapt to their freedom. His mushroom cap, if you recall, I have a really hard time finding a hat that looks good on him in the game. But his mushroom cap helped him catch a breeze. Long story short, he wound up joining the Skylanders. He's been working to protect people in the Skylands ever since, particularly from Chaos. That said, Shroomboom is still relatively hard to come by when it's pizza night at Eon Citadel. So, that said, we'll go ahead and do a comparison here. Obviously, the standard pose, he's got the shroom loaded up in the slingshot. Tongue's out, basically the same. LightCore pose, he has basically is kind of in motion, if you will, whereas this guy's set, going to launch a shroom at you, or spore. By the way, his slogan is he shoots, he spores. They do not put those on the LightCore packages for some reason. But this one he's basically just shot and is proceeding onward. I guess going to reload here in a second. The red, in my opinion, seems to be a little bit more vibrant on LightCore. It's probably just something they tweaked at the factory. His backside's the same. At first I thought the spikes were a new addition. Then I actually realized I guess I'd never noticed them, you know, on regular Shroomboom. Anyway, you know, that's it. They're really relatively similar. It's just loaded slingshot, not loaded slingshot, and he's taking a step. So pick your poison, if you will. I have not obviously upgraded any Skylander at all. I don't know how he upgrades. He's certainly not the quickest right out of the box. It seems like he could have potential, maybe similar to like what we saw with Zook or something. Could turn out really well. That said, until I upgrade him, I kind of have to reserve my judgment, but not terribly impressed thus far. But since he is LightCore, we've got the game on over there, our old wireless portal from Spiral's Adventure. If you can see what lit up in addition to his eye, it's actually the mushroom. I've griped several times about how they didn't continue things. They just kind of one and done. Could have done better. I really don't have any complaints in terms of what they did here. I know the camera makes that look like a really bright white glow. I mean, that's actually what it is. But in person, the mushroom kind of tints it. It's like a real deep green, kind of a nice color. Sorry about that. But I think, you know, I still think that Prism Break is by far the best LightCore I've seen thus far in person. But, I mean, this one is not horrible. You know, Drobot was just a huge disappointment. Eruptor was kind of a letdown. Similar story with some of the Giants. But, you know, for making him a LightCore character, I think it's actually pretty decent. If you watch the unboxings, you know the drill. I'm about to turn the lights out for you. See if you can get a better look at him. Yeah, I think that kind of shows you the green pretty well. I'll go ahead and bring it back up here for you. Granted, the portal, you know, isn't helping out a whole lot. Keep in mind this is the old one, but you get the green mushroom there, the very white eye. I think he looks pretty good. I mean, I know I complain about the LightCore in general, just, you know, what they don't do with their LightCore ability and how they could have been better. But, you know, I got to give credit where credit is due. Like I said, while Shroomboom isn't currently amongst my top characters or anything, I think this is a pretty good LightCore pose, just for the simple fact, you know, they could have stopped it with just the eye and, you know, pass that off, for effort or something. But taking the time just to make the, mushroom light up, the spore, I guess, whatever you want to call it. You got to give him credit for that. It does add a nice element to it. The camera doesn't really do him justice. It looks much better in person. It kind of lights up the underside of that mushroom cap as well. But you'll have to take my word for it. This is actually, pretty decent, at least by my standards. Get the light back on. Go ahead and give you another look at him with the lights. They could have done something, like maybe where the top of the hat lights up or the slingshot band. That would have actually been really hard to do, the band, to their credit. But I feel like with the mushroom and the eye, they did a nice job. I didn't actually kill the power. I guess it timed out, so we're almost out of video time anyway on this card. But again, LightCore Shroomboom. I picked mine up from Amazon.com, $11.96 or $99, I'm not sure. He should start to become more readily available, GameStop, Target, Walmart, hopefully. Walmart and GameStop are probably your best bet. Toys R Us had him initially. I've never seen him at my local store ever. Generally, the LightCore don't sell that well, so I'm kind of inclined to believe they've probably never restocked. My advice, if you want him now, go through Amazon. If you're going to hold out, wait for it locally. I'm sure Walmart or GameStop will get them in eventually. You can go that route. But again, don't pay more than retail. Simply not worth it, particularly for a LightCore. As far as the aesthetics of the LightCore go, this one's pretty good in my opinion. Again, if you want to see some more info on Shroomboom, go back to the Golden Dragonfire Cannon unboxing we did. But that's pretty much it. Questions, comments, you can ask on the blog, oneofwisdom.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, we will catch you later.